History is filled with warriors, but few shaped the world like the Muslim generals you're about to meet. From the scorching deserts of Arabia, to the mountains of Anatolia, and the gates of Europe, these men commanded with brilliance, faith, and fire. They weren't just soldiers, they were visionaries who united tribes, forged empires, and defended their people against impossible odds. Today we count down 5 of the greatest Muslim generals in history, men whose legacies still echo through time. Our story begins in 7th century Arabia, a land of sand, swords, and tribes locked in endless rivalry. From this chaos emerged a man the Prophet Muhammad himself would call the Sword of Allah. His name, Khalid ibn al-Walid. Born into the powerful Quraysh tribe of Mecca, Khalid grew up as a natural fighter. His father trained him with the spear before he could walk straight. He first fought against the Prophet's followers at Uhud, but later, upon embracing Islam, he turned his unmatched courage into a weapon for faith. Under the first caliph, Abu Bakr, Khalid crushed the rebellions of Arabia in the Ridda Wars, reuniting the tribes under Islam. But his true legend began when the caliph sent him north, to face the superpowers of the age, the Persian Empire and Byzantium. Imagine this, a commander with barely 10,000 men, crossing the Syrian desert with no water for 5 days, to outflank the Byzantines. The result? Victory after victory, at Walaja, Alais, and Ajnadain. But his masterpiece came in 636 CE, the Battle of Yarmouk. Facing a Byzantine army nearly twice his size, Khalid's tactics were pure genius. He used the desert wind and cavalry maneuvers to encircle the enemy, turning the plains of Syria into a graveyard of Roman ambition. The Muslim army triumphed, and Byzantine Syria fell. Khalid ibn al-Walid never lost a battle. Not once. When he died, he said, "I fought in 100 battles. Yet here I die in bed like a camel. May the eyes of cowards never find rest." His story reminds us that leadership is not about numbers, it's about courage, precision, and the will to never retreat. Fast forward half a century. The Great Umayyad Caliphate now stretches from Spain to Central Asia. But at its far eastern frontier, across deserts and rivers, lay the mysterious land of Sindh, modern-day Pakistan. In 711 CE, a teenager barely 17 years old was chosen to lead an invasion. His name, Muhammad ibn al-Qasim. With only a few thousand soldiers and a handful of ships, he crossed the harsh Makran Desert into the fertile valley of the Indus River. Facing him was Raja Dahir, ruler of Sindh, commanding a massive elephant army. At the Battle of Arar, ibn al-Qasim used strategy, not strength. His men lured the elephants into narrow passes, then struck from all sides with fire-tipped arrows. The elephants panicked, trampling their own lines. The victory was swift, and the gates of Sindh opened. For the first time, Islam entered the Indian subcontinent. But this young general was no ordinary conqueror. Historical sources describe him as fair and disciplined, protecting civilians, granting religious freedom, and establishing justice under Islamic law. Within months, cities like Multan and Dibol fell peacefully under his rule. He introduced new systems of governance and trade that linked India with the broader Islamic world. Yet his rise was short-lived. Political jealousies in Damascus recalled him, and at just 20, the young conqueror of Sindh died mysteriously. Still, his campaign changed the course of South Asian history. For over 1,000 years after him, Muslim dynasties would rule parts of the subcontinent, inspired by the daring of one teenager who crossed the desert and wrote his name in legend. Now we travel to the 12th century, an age when Europe's crusaders had carved kingdoms across the Middle East. The holy city of Jerusalem was under Christian control, and the Muslim world was divided and exhausted. Then came a man who would change it all, Salah ad-Din Yusuf ibn Ayyub, known to the West as Saladin. Born in Tikrit in 1137, of Kurdish descent, Saladin rose through the ranks of the Zengid army serving the ruler Nur ad-Din. But beyond his skill with the sword, He possessed vision to unite Muslims divided by centuries of rivalry. When he became Sultan of Egypt, he abolished the Shura Fatimid Caliphate, restoring Sunni orthodoxy. Then he began the impossible, uniting Egypt, Syria, and much of Mesopotamia under one banner. By 1187, his moment arrived. The Crusader Kingdom of Jerusalem launched a massive campaign against him, and Saladin struck back at the Battle of Hattin. Under the blazing sun, the Crusader army was trapped without water. Saladin's archers and cavalry surrounded them, cutting off every escape. When the dust settled, the once mighty Crusader army was annihilated, and within months, Jerusalem fell peacefully into Muslim hands. But Saladin's greatness wasn't just in conquest. When the city surrendered, he forbade revenge. There was no massacre, no slaughter. Instead, he allowed Christians to ransom themselves and leave unharmed. Even his enemies, like King Richard the Lionheart, admired his honor. During the Third Crusade, when Richard fell ill, Saladin sent him fruits, snow, and his personal physician. He proved that true power is strength combined with mercy. When Saladin died in 1193, he left behind neither palaces nor gold, only a reputation for justice that still inspires millions.